Welcome home, horror fans. My name's Adam.
And I'm Zoe.
And today we're going to talk about how to beat every trap from Saw 10.
Every trap from Saw 10, hey?
We're going to go through each one.
Realistic list, by the way.
Realistically, how you would beat every trap from Saw 10. This is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's start by saying that everything we have in this list of how to beat these traps are purely from a realistic point of view.
That's right. This is
what
how we would go
would
about
actually do in these situations. And I can't tell you that anyone would actually be looking around the room to be like, how can I get out of this? You've got 3 minutes, sometimes 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Anyways,
this is the problem with people. They look around the room too much, all right? Yeah. We're going straight in. We're going with the eye vacuum trap. How do we beat it, Zoe?
It's pretty bloody easy.
Yeah.
You turn the dial.
You turn the dial.
And you don't stop. You turn it all the way.
This one was pretty obvious, we thought.
See, with the vacuum trap, you have two options. You break your fingers or you lose your eyes. Yes. I know which one I'd prefer.
Yeah, and it's breaking your fingers is not even that bad, really.
No.
Like, it's kind of shocking, I suppose, but
break
your
fingers that can be healed or lose your sight forever.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I wonder what I'll do.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Turn the dial.
Just turn the dial all the way. Boom. Saw trap 1.
Bada bing, bada boom.
That's pretty great.
Yeah.
I think that one's one of the easy ones to survive, let's be honest.
Yeah, look, from an unrealistic standpoint, I'm sure there's other things that he could do in that situation, but given that he's given 60 seconds, I'm just breaking my fingers.
Yeah, no mess around. And also, you could see that there was actual vacuuming going on in his eyeballs, so he knew it was happening, like it was real.
Yeah.
So don't mess around, just break those things and get
Yeah.
sorted. So that's done. Next, what do we got?
Next up, we have the pipe bomb trap.
The pipe bomb trap.
This is another easy one because Diego did survive his trap.
Yeah.
And that would be do exactly what Diego did, only faster.
Well, that's right. So this trap,
maybe try and do more clean of a cut.
one of the few people to actually win their trap, and so he kind of answered this question already for us. Mm-hmm. You just basically cut your skin and pull it off. It was. I did really like
that on the second pipe bomb that he used his teeth to tear it. I thought that's actually that's a good thinking because I would probably have an easier time just ripping it away rather than cutting into my skin. So it's worth the mention. But either way, again, there's not really much you can do to survive this. You have
just
bombs connected to your arms. You have to cut them out.
Yeah, and this one too, like, similar to the eyeball trap, this part of his arm will heal. He's not losing a limb or anything. Mm-hmm. And he could have even taken those pipe bombs off and thrown them back at John, blown through the window or something like that. Just use them as a weapon. But yes, he did survive his trap. It was there's probably no better way than do it than the way he did it. So we don't have to spend too much time on this one. This was an easy solve. Nice and easy. Nice and done.
Solved. Debunked.
Let's move on to the next one.
Next up, we have Valentina's trap.
All right, now this is a doozy. This is a trap you don't want to be in.
This is the one that you definitely don't want to be in, or one of them. The only thing that I can really think of is that she could have used the Geely saw to thread between the rope around her neck, and because the rope around her neck seemed to be the only thing that was tying her down to where she was. So she could have threaded it through and cut through the rope, but either way, that doesn't solve the problem of John and Amanda being there watching her do this trap. But at least it would have bought her some time. Yeah,
this is a tough one. There are certain ways she probably could have used the Geely saw to either try to cut the rope around her neck or even to ruin the mechanism that was coming forward. Mm-hmm. But the issue with this one is you are, like you said, being stared down by John and Amanda. So even if you manage to stop the machine or get out of not having to cut your leg, they're probably still going to come down and
force you back into it somewhere or another,
Yeah, there was an interesting comment in Saw 10 where he was acting like if you don't play along, then you're going to be in this room forever. And I just say, don't play along because what's coming is really bad.
Yeah.
Just don't play the tape, She had it bad. She had it really, really bad. This trap, a lot of people would say, is unwinnable because even if you do use that Geely saw in a way that he did not intend and actually ruin the mechanism or actually cut through the rope,
well, she
did reset it up.
She did nearly win it. So the other option as well, I guess, for Valentina would have just been starting about 20 seconds earlier and she would have been fine.
If she'd cut quicker, it's the only real way to come out on top. To actually, what Saw 10 really shows out of all the other Saw movies is you kind of just need to follow the rules. Most of the time, the only way to get out is really following the rules.
Yeah.
And if she'd cut this a bit quicker, I mean, I believe even then, this is a trap that's pretty hard to win.
Yeah.
But it seems to be the only way out.
It's just the fact that there is two components of it. It's not you can tell it's gone so far from the Saw film now, giving freaking Adam and Gordon a whole day to decide on their trap. She gets 3 minutes, and it's to cut off her entire leg and suck out, what was it, 3 ounces of bone marrow?
Yeah.
Like,
the bone marrow part was the extra part which you were just like, maybe a bit much.
Yeah.
You know, she did the leg. Maybe that should have been enough.
yeah, she just cut off her entire leg.
Yeah.
Like, why are we asking more of this girl?
Yeah, that's right. So at the end of the day, I think, you know, the only way to not cut off your leg would be to use a Geely saw on the machine itself. But if you really want to play it safe,
still doesn't solve the problem of John and Amanda
of them being
watching.
right there. So if you want to play it safe, cutting the leg quicker is really the only way out. And my odds are still not with you if you're in that trap and trying to do that.
Yeah.
So
No,
good luck to you.
absolutely not. And same thing for the next one.
Well, for the next one,
Next up, we have the brain surgery trap.
the brain surgery
And
trap.
we do have a way to survive it.
Yes, we come up with a very smart way to deal with this trap, okay?
Easy.
This is a trap where you have to pull your own brains out of your head and
After
place
you've
them into a jar.
cut into it yourself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, if you were in this brain trap, what would you do?
If I was in this brain trap,
Yeah.
I would let the time run out.
Just do nothing.
There is absolutely
Yeah.
no chance in hell that I'm even attempting this.
Yeah. There's no way I'm pulling my own brains out.
Can you imagine the feeling of cutting into your own skull with no anesthetic, just straight up, put the sword on my head, and no, it's not happening.
I can't imagine pulling your own brains out, let alone cutting your
See,
actual
I feel like
skull
the
open.
pulling of the brains wouldn't be that difficult once it's already on display. It's physically cutting into your head and ripping off that piece of skull that he has to rip out. Because you got to think with this scene as well. Once he does cut that circle, he still needs to dig in there with tweezers and pull that skull off of himself before he can actually get into his brains.
Yeah, I can barely, face the facts when I have to pull anything with tweezers, let alone my brain out. It's the last thing I'm going to be doing. So the idea that I have to pull bits of my brain out and then put it into a little jar, even if I survive that, I'm not going to be myself, I'm going to be like...
Well, John seems to think that
he's like, your brain will be fine. Maybe it'll just like heal itself. I don't think so, mate. I reckon my
I don't
brain...
think that's how it works.
I don't reckon. You try it first. We'll see.
And he's talking about it as if it's like... If that is the case and the brain is repairing itself, that's after it's been done by like trained surgeons. This guy's just ripping into his skull,
he's just tearing bits of brain out. He doesn't know where the safe part is or anything. And they're pretty big chunks. The way he's shaking with the piece of brain, I really expect him to drop it.
I tell you what, it would be hilarious.
It would have been really funny. I wish he'd dropped it and just be like so
and then,
close.
time to go again.
Yeah, and he just keeps going, just keeps dropping.
And slowly gets more and more shaky.
Yeah, it was.
Sick.
Where's the next scary movie to be able to take this like parody version? Because wow. So with this one, we would just sit still and just be like, enjoy my last 3 minutes of life. Really,
yeah, because it's not happening.
Yeah, maybe have a nice heart talk with Cecilia or something like that. Just try to meditate a little bit, relax.
Yeah,
just enjoy myself because I'm not tearing my brains out in my last 3 minutes.
Maybe just the last bet that I would have is trying to seduce John and Amanda. Like,
that's the thing too.
Here.
I'll just make John feel bad. Just like, John, this is not good. All right, what you've done here, just to let you know.
And I actually really liked you too.
Yeah,
John.
it's a real shame. I thought you were a good guy. This is just guilt trip him and then he'll let you out. Because if you just don't start, you'll be like, well, okay, I guess he's not going to do it.
That is probably what I would do in that
guilt
situation.
tripping is the only way. So
John, when she gets so sexy.
John, I know you got cancer, but how would you like to be happy for the last 2 months? I can sort you out.
Jill back home is like...
Yes, that's the, like the key to getting out of that one is not going for the real key. It's the key to John's heart. That's
right.
Really the answer.
No, I think that's the
Talk your way
out
out of it is the only way.
Absolutely.
So yeah, look, that's what we have for you on the brain trap. It was very academic for you, what we came up with there. What do we got next?
Next up, we have the radiation trap.
All right, this one's easy.
This is an easy one.
Yeah.
This is freaking Cecilia.
Yes.
I can hear her saying it already. The thing with the radiation trap, break your hand first.
Break the hand first.
This is another one where it's like, you still need to hurt yourself to get out of the trap. You still need to do what John is asking you to do to get out of the trap. But bloody Cecilia and her big mouth, If Gabriella had broken her hand first, she would have fallen to the floor. She would have had free range to move where she needed to move to.
Yeah.
If the machine did happen to come down and follow her, she can move out of the way.
She can move anywhere.
She can move anywhere, and she also is in a more comfortable position to break her foot.
Yeah, this would have been very easy. Break that hand, fall down to the ground, and then you can walk anywhere you want. If that machine's trying to move back and forth, you can just like, nothing's going to be able to get you.
Yep.
So this was, honestly, it seems like John didn't really think this through that much, to be honest.
No, unless there was another plan for her if she had have broken it first.
Yeah,
like if something had have like come down from on the roof on her. But we're just going based on what we actually saw, and in this situation, you would break your hand first.
Yeah, much easier. So this was a pretty straightforward one, we thought. Look, she did survive in the end for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How to survive Cecilia killing you? You can't.
That's right, you know. But if she had broken her hand first, she would have been able to be probably well enough to not get her head trampled in by Cecilia.
Yes.
So that would have been...
That's a fair point.
That would have been a smart move. What do we got next?
Next up we have the gas chamber.
The old gas chamber. So Cecilia finally gets her just desserts in the old gas chamber. And how would you survive this one?
This is a bit difficult.
Yes.
I think that we can go off what we believe and how we believe you can survive it.
You would hope that you were putting this trap with somebody quite close to you.
Yeah. I believe that you could probably fit your mouth at least into that hole together at the same time.
Yeah.
Like just have at least part of your head in there.
It was a pretty big porthole.
It was a pretty big hole to stick your head into. And I feel like maybe this was the case and John knew that they were going to turn against each other and Cecilia would bury him ultimately, like he said in the film. So I think he always expected for one person to die. But realistically speaking, you could stick your mouth as close as you can to the hole.
Stick your mouth next to the hole.
Because let's be honest, your whole head, both of their whole heads probably aren't fitting through. But you could put your head there close enough to be able to breathe the fresh air coming from out there. Or you could just take it in turns.
Yeah.
You do 10 seconds, I do 10 seconds.
That's right.
And so on and so forth. Other than that, yeah, the other option is to just be the better person and
be the better killer.
Be the better killer. And
look, there's two
guy.
answers to this one. One is they never even tried to both stick their heads into the hole to breathe.
Yeah, they just instantly started fighting each other.
They stuck a head through quickly each way. And they probably could have been able to at least stick their faces next to the hole to survive.
Let's be honest.
It was a bit goofy. Otherwise, the other option, the easy option, if you want a guaranteed way of beating this trap, you wait, you just let the person say, oh, look, you know what? I love you, because this is where they were doing. I love you so much, you go, it's fine. Once she sticks or he sticks his head through that hole, kill him in the back. Easy done. Yeah. It's a very simple way. They're not even looking. Simple death. Move them out of the way. You survive. It's pretty straightforward. This is an easy one.
Honestly, I probably would have preferred Parker to survive as well, on top of that.
I mean, everybody wants Cecilia to die.
Yeah.
You know.
It pisses me off so much that Valentina and Mateo got the most brutal traps potentially in the whole franchise.
And she got the easiest.
And Cecilia got the easiest one.
Trap.
I mean, unless she does starve to death, in which case, suffer, bitch. But I definitely think we haven't seen the end of Cecilia, unfortunately.
Cecilia did get out easy, so this is a pretty straightforward one to beat. Which leaves us with one more trap in the film.
There's one more trap in the film.
The final trap is the tummy tickler.
The tummy tickler that we don't get to see in full action.
No. But the tummy tickler seems like a pretty easy trap to beat, I reckon. Yeah. What do you have to do?
Oh, well, you just need to survive being tickled, right? That's
right. So for this one, all he has to do is he just has to get out before he dies of laughter from the tickles. That was all he has to do. From someone who is terrified of being tickled on the tummy, I will say this is probably the worst trap in the film.
This is a really bad
terrifying.
trap. It's a shame because I feel like it had potential, but they did not show us anything that happened afterwards. They didn't tell us what the trap was capable of doing, and the trap looks bad.
Yeah.
Like, it just looks like it's not doing any damage at all.
I feel like you would enjoy being strung up by Hoffman and tummy tickled, though. I kind of feel like...
I wouldn't mind. Either way, surviving this trap is... Yeah, just try not to laugh. I don't actually know what this trap consists of. I don't know the rules behind this trap. I don't know what this trap is supposed to do. So I can't tell you how you could survive this trap.
People seem to really have wanted to see this trap in action. We get a lot of people commenting how much they had wished that they could have seen the outcome.
I mean, I was happy just to see Hoffman in action. I didn't mind not seeing the trap, but yeah.
Exactly right. Anyway, that is how you beat all of the traps of Saw X. If you had any ideas on how you would beat any of the traps, please let us know.
Absolutely.
I reckon we covered them off pretty well.
I reckon we did too.
Yeah.
It's a realistic list.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah, 100%. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching as usual, and we will see you in the next one.
See you next time, guys.